I'm here with Alec Berlikoff. He's my best. He's a very close friend of mine. He's facing some challenges, and he's about to be honest with me, and I wanted to record it. Alec, be honest.
I'm going to be honest with you. This is my honest opinion. You might not choose to share this.
I'm going to share it.
You're a prison consultant.
No, I'm not.
You're not a prison
My
consultant?
partner Justin's a prison consultant. I'm not.
You do prison consulting, don't you?
No, Justin does.
I help people. Going to say,
if I work with them, it's not prison consulting. I'm just a guy who went through 26 years in prison, and I try and help guys understand, hey, this is a strategy that worked for me. It's not prison, it's life. But go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that the 26 years that you did absolutely makes you, in my opinion, an expert. Okay? That's just my opinion. Let me finish. However, I think one of the drawbacks to working with you is that because you're an anomaly. You're not the common, everyday Joe Schmo. And those are the majority of people that you're going to be speaking to. The norm, and you're not that. You're an anomaly. You're very, very rare. And you cannot, in my opinion, because of your strength and who you are, you cannot relate to the average everyday guy that's going into prison. So
that's why Justin is the prison consultant. Not me.
Right. No, that makes sense. But, when you try to get in your head, the way you think, the way you act, the way you work, and as evidenced by the fact that you did 26 years, that you're just not speaking on the same page as everybody else. Nobody can understand and even relate to what you're talking about. We're on a completely different planet. We're trying to make it through. I know people that are facing jail time of 24 hours, and they're completely losing their minds in the anticipation of having to go in. And I've known people who've documented their experiences, 24 hours in jail. And it's just, in their eyes, it's the worst of the worst. How can you help someone like that when you've done 26 years and they're freaking out about 24 hours?
Well, it's very simple. I tell them you should talk to my partner, Justin Paperny, who's really good at that. But I'll tell you this. The question is this. Can you see the best possible outcome? If you can say, wait, he went through that for 26 years and he came out strong, can I get through 24 hours or 24 months if I follow that path? Because if I don't know that path, I can go down this rabbit hole. But if I can see, wait a minute, there's a pattern, then the question becomes, should I learn from that pattern or should I keep doing what I am doing? Now, Justin, I will grant you, is much better at talking through the little incremental steps. That's why I write content. That's why I create. That's why I show, hey, here's a pattern. Justin can teach from it. But I guarantee you, if you follow that path, you restore strength, you restore confidence, but it's up to you. Nobody can give it to you. I wish I could give you a magic pill, but it's all about how you think, how you create plans, how you execute on the plans, how you consistently ask Socratic questions that will help you get there. And if you pursue that path, you're stronger. And if you don't, you're weaker. And it's up to somebody else. Nobody could have done it for me. And nobody can do it for you. But if you do it, you restore strength. You restore confidence. You get back climbing. That's the key. And that's where, in more honesty for us.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I just think you're skipping a major step.
Which one is that?
You're asking people to formulate a plan of action.
No, I'm challenging you to form the plan. I'm challenging you with a question. I said to you, number one, is it possible? What did you say?
It's possible.
Is it possible to come out of there stronger than when you went
Absolutely. I think it's very likely.
Okay. Oh, now it's likely because it wasn't likely in the beginning.
No. I think it is likely. However, the consequences, the negative consequences of going in there and not doing well are far more debilitating and punitive than.
Well, we know it's going to be hard. Accept. Move
I'm
on.
not. I don't know what's going to be. I don't know anything. All I'm saying is,
anytime you're away from your wife and your kids, it's hard.
Right. But my point is that people are in a state of crisis. When you're in a state of crisis, you can't think or formulate a plan. So the question is, how do you get through that state of crisis before you can go and do the things that you're talking about? Because, again, I don't know if you've even ever been in a situation where you're so out of control in your mind that you cannot think clearly and articulate and formulate a plan of action, much less think about executing that plan of action.
So let's just explore that for a second. What do you think the reality of what you just said? How is that likely or is that unlikely? That I've never been in a crisis when I was facing life without the possibility of parole at 23 years old. Do you not think I was a crisis?
No. Crisis, what I'm talking about.
Paralyzed with fear that I could be raped, that I could be killed, that I'm going to a high security penitentiary. I've never been in custody, and I'm locked in the hole, and I'm facing life in prison. Are you serious that you don't think I was in a crisis?
No. I know that you were in a crisis. The question is, in your mind.
In my mind, do you think it's likely that I was paralyzed with fear of what's going to happen?
That's a great question. So yes, I think it's very, very likely, like 98%. However, I wonder, from knowing you quite a while and talking with you many, many, many hours and hours and hours, if you're not part of that 2% that processes things in their mind far different than the other 98%, because that's how you come across to me when I speak to you.
But you're speaking to me on the other side of the journey. After I've created these plans and prepared for success, now you're seeing me strong. But I guarantee you, there were times when I had no idea. I couldn't stand because my knees were like this. I was afraid and I was scared and I had no idea what was going to come. That is a fact. Okay?
Well, that's what you got to talk about. That
I don't have to talk about that. I'm not a prison consultant.
No, but you said you're just talking about life and helping people. That makes you more real.
I didn't even say I'm about helping people. I said I'm about being authentic. I'm about showing people that if you pursue a path and if you can see it, there is a methodical way. And I'm not speaking from some theoretical framework. I'm saying somebody who was in real crisis. Not an idea I'm going to come home in a little bit of time. I don't know if I'm ever going to come home. And I don't know if I'm going to be raped or killed where I'm going. That's a real crisis.
I think those are legitimate fears that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the question then becomes, how do you get through? And if I give you the answer, then the question becomes, well, do I want to pause and process that? Because it's certainly not likely to say, I don't know crisis. That's ridiculous. Okay? The reality is, wow, he did know crisis, but he's telling me the way that he got through was he would stop, I would lie down, I'd close my eyes, and I'd feel that pain, and I'd feel that suffocating walls closing in because I was locked in solitary confinement and thinking, and first I'd read, and by reading about somebody else that was in crisis, I realized, okay, he got through this by not thinking about where he is right now, but by thinking about what could he do? And that prompts the question, what can I do? And so that's my question to you. I can't answer that question for you, but you can. You can lie down on your bed and you can do the same thing, but begin from a position of reality. Reality. Where you are going, you are not going to be afraid of being raped or killed. That's a fact. Okay? You're going to a minimum security camp with other people who committed wire fraud or mail fraud or securities fraud, or, didn't put a postage stamp on an envelope, and, and they're going in there and they're not all of a sudden going to pick up a knife or an ice pick and put in work. That's not going to happen. Okay? So let's just start. Wait a minute. Maslow's hierarchy of needs here. Wait a minute. Let's just get reality. My life is not in jeopardy. I'm going to have food. I'm going to have water, and I'm going to have a place to sleep. Let's start with that. That's a pretty good place to start.
Yeah,
then
it is.
Okay. So do you know you're going to have food, water, and a place to sleep?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any fear for your physical safety?
No.
None.
I don't want to say that. You know what? I have no idea. I don't want to.
Right now, do you have fear that somebody is going to stab you or try to rape you?
I mean, I don't want to minimize it, but no, I don't. I don't.
I mean, you're a good-looking guy.
No, I don't want to insult people who do have fear.
I don't either, but I'm asking you a question. I'm asking about
personally,
you.
Again, I don't want to be naive or, but no, I don't.
Because you're not going to that kind of place.
No, yeah, I don't have that pressing fear, but I'm not one to say, who knows? Anything could happen anywhere.
Well, I know because I was there. So here's what I know. You're going to a place without a fence around it. Okay?
We don't even know where I'm going yet, but that's okay.
Well, I know where you're going. You don't know where you're going. I know where you're going because you've been designated. Okay? So I know where you're going, but it wouldn't make a difference whether you were going to FCI low or FCI camp. You're not going to be around people that do that kind of thing. Okay? That's just a fact. That's number one. So I know that that's not a fear. That doesn't mean that you may not get into an argument. That does not mean that you may not like some people. In fact, it's very likely that there are going to be people you don't like. But the question is, if you want to come out of this stronger, are you willing to lie down, let the fear subside, and just realize, wait a minute, I can think. I can think. I can control my mind and what I'm thinking. And if I can do that, I can grow stronger. Can you do that? That's a yes or a no, because that's work. That's just work. Either you let your mind completely take over your life, or you say, okay, having a tough time, let me lie down. Let me breathe. Let me try and get calm. And let me try and project best possible outcomes. Try to envision that, because this will end. This is going to end. And I'm going to be around other people who are going through similar things, but they're going to be at different stages. Some of them are going to be brand new like me. Some of them are already going to be in prison for 15 years. And they're going to be very advanced on this. But I know that just like the first day of graduate school, I used to look at people who already had their master's, or first day of undergrad school, and I looked at upperclassmen, or the first day of high school, and I looked at a senior. Someday I'm going to get there. Right? You've done it many times. Many times. You were a young man getting into high school. You were a young man going to undergrad school. You were a young man going to grad school. You were a young man in a job that you didn't like, and then you decided to pursue a job that you did like, and you did it by following a methodical plan. I thought about it. How much work do I have to do? Do the work, execute, become stronger. No different now. It's a challenge. You don't know what's coming. Just like you didn't know how you were going to get your first client. But you knew that if you worked hard, you could be better than if you didn't. So the only question now is, how hard do you want to work? I can tell you, when I was afraid and I was suicidal and I didn't know if I was going to live or die, I grew stronger by reading about people who did, whether it was Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, any long-term prisoner. And I saw, well, they did it. How did they do it? And those thoughts gave me answers. And that's what you can do. But I can't throw out ridiculous thoughts that I know with just a little bit of dissecting, I can pop that. You've never gone through crisis. I mean, that's absurd. That's absurd. And you've got to say, you're right. That's absurd. Say it.
No. You're mincing my words.
No, you said I was one of those weird kind of people.
No, you faced crisis, right? The question is, each individual is different as to how they handle crisis and what their capacity is to handle crisis. And all I'm saying is that you are an exceptional man in that regard.
Well, I don't think
exceptional.
I don't agree with that. I only agree with this much. We are all different, and we are all human beings, and we should all look to learn from people who have walked before us.
Agreed.
And I have walked before you, and it is indisputable that I've had crisis. I may not be a prison consultant, because I'm not. I'm a writer and a communicator, but on a different level than one-on-one. Justin's very good at that, I think. You work with Justin. But what I can say is that if you execute the plan, you grow stronger. That I can say.
I agree. That's indisputable. I agree. We're in agreement.
Then the only question is, when are you going to start planning?
Go back. You said if you execute the plan. So I think the question is for a lot of people is, okay, how do I get past that if and make it an affirmative? You know, it's not if, it's when, right? See, it would be much more comforting if you said to me, when you execute the plan, you will come out stronger. You will.
Yeah, but I'm not here to comfort, because that's
I know. But what I'm saying is, you're saying if
because it's all if. It's all if, Alec. There are a lot of people that choose to let prison define who they are and what they become. There are a lot. But if you choose to define success, and if you choose to put a plan in place, and if you choose to recognize that there will be priorities along the way, and if you choose to go through it incremental stages and execute it in accordance with your plan, you will grow stronger. And if you don't, you've got to answer to that. It's not going to be a win. There are many people in prison that choose to let prison define them and choose to say, it's not my fault I put it here. It's not fair. I shouldn't be here. It's not right. Many. And then let me tell you what the parade of horribles that follow for them. They struggle through every day in prison with bitterness and anger. They get out and they can't have a relationship because they're so crippled by that. They can't find employment. They revert to some type of behavior that puts them back in. And so you get this recidivating, recycle, problem. And if you want,
I agree. Listen, we're past that. I mean, as far as accepting responsibility and working through those important steps, I mean, yeah, I couldn't even imagine moving forward having not done that. I mean, that's just a whole.
But that never ends. That never ends. That taking responsibility never ends. Right now, we've got to take responsibility and say, okay, incremental steps. The first thing that I got to do is lie down, hold my wife, tell her I love her, and say, I just got to get stronger and I need a little time, and just lie down there and look at the ceiling and think. What is the best possible outcome? And the answer may be right now, I don't know with regard to career. I don't know when I'm getting out. I don't know about these things. But what can help me get through the day and the week and then the month and then the year? And how much clarity can I bring to that plan? And what are the steps that I have to take first? And what resources do I need to get through this? And if I'm doing this, something magical happens. You know what that is? You know what it is? It's
No.
I restore confidence. I believe I'm recalibrated and I'm growing. But it's work, brother. It's work. And you've got to do the work to grow stronger. That's what I have found. If I could give you a magic pill, I'd give it to you, buddy, for free.
Thanks. Yeah.
But I can tell you that's the strategy that worked for me. When I was quivering, fearful, not knowing what was going to happen, knowing that there were definitely people that wanted to hurt me. Not a question, maybe, definitely. For a lot of reasons, many of them that I chose. Right? And I can tell you, I was in my 8th year of prison, already very well adjusted. I already had a bachelor's degree, already had a master's degree, already was a published author, already had navigated my way through a high security penitentiary and was in a medium security prison. And there was a riot. And after that riot, I was a leader in the prison. And they shipped all leaders out. And I knew when I was a leader in a positive way. Okay, I was teaching classes, but I had a lot of influence in the prison. And the administration did not like the influence that I had at all. And so they put me on a bus, and I knew I was going to the United States Penitentiary in Lewisburg, which is a notoriously violent penitentiary. And I remember being on that bus, and you talk about fear, because I had a hell of a lot to lose. Not only was I afraid of my physical safety, I was afraid of losing the record that I had worked so hard to build over 8 years.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
It was incredibly important to me, that record, because I had created a life in there, a life outside, even though I was inside. I had authors and publishers and journalists and all kinds of people in my network. And now I'm going to a penitentiary again where a lot of people would be envious of me. And I knew that. Fear. And it turned out that the fear was overblown because I didn't end up going there. I got processed in, and I was there for maybe 72 hours and on my way to another prison in Fairton, New Jersey.
But you didn't know.
I didn't know.
You had every right to be.
And right now, you don't know.
Right.
But I know. I know where you're going.
Let's not go there. No.
Hey, brother, I got to get back to work. We've been on this phone call for an hour.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
You're going to get through this, okay?
Yeah.
But you got to be strong, and you got to follow the path. Nobody can create the path for you.
I agree.
14 months, not 24.
All right.
Minimum security camp, not low security prison. A little bit of quarantine, maybe a little bit of time in the hole. No big deal, right? No big deal. How many push-ups can you do?
This is being recorded. I'm not.
How many push-ups can you do?
I'm not going to offend it. What's the difference? Does it matter?
Yeah. Can you do 20?
Yeah. No, I'm fortunate with that. I don't know why. I'm lucky that way. Ask me how many pull-ups I can do. Not many.
Can you do 20
push-ups? I can do 50.
Can you do 20 push-ups?
Huh?
Can you do 20 push-ups?
Yes.
How many sets?
I don't know, 5, 6.
Okay. So that's a goal. That's a goal. Put yourself to it right now and say, okay, I got to do something. Let me just try it. I'm going to do 10 sets of 20 and I'm going to do it in an hour. 10 sets of 20 in an hour. No big deal. But that's a goal. Then push yourself, say, I'm going to do tomorrow 12 sets, 15 sets. Do it.
Right.
Feel the pain. Feel the pain of getting down and doing 10 sets. And if you fail, own it.
Right.
It's the little steps that you take that you start building confidence. That's it, bro. That's the secret. I can give you the secret. I
appreciate you sharing the secret with me. It's a very important secret.
I can give you the secret.
Yeah.
I can't make you do it.
True.
I can't make you do it. 10 sets of 20.
All right.
You said you can do 6. Give me 10.
Okay.
And you're going to feel the pain tomorrow. And you're going to know that you feel the pain because you brought it on yourself.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay? And the next day, you're going to do it again. The next day, we're going to incorporate something else. Incorporate squats. You know why I'm telling you to do this? Because it doesn't matter where you are, you can do that.
Yeah.
And that will make you stronger.
Agree.
You can agree, but if you don't do it,
don't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Right.
I got to go, brother. Be cool.
All right, go. All right,
can
thanks,
I record
Michael.
it? Can I publish this? Just the last part.
Whatever, man.
I'm proud of you. You know why I want to publish it so badly?
Huh?
First of all, you said I'm a lousy consultant, so I want to publish that. Second of all, I want to show this to you in 3 years. That's why. Because in 3 years, you're going to be working with me, and I want you to be the guy that started here and became like me. And people need to see it.
Well, I can tell you, of course, there's nothing that I don't want as bad as that. I mean, that's what I want, right?
Get it happen. I got to go, brother. Bye.
Okay, take care. Have a good one.
Bye.